When starting up the Blackstone, it's important to make sure you have replaced or have a brand new grease tray located on the rear of the appliance. Make sure you empty out and replace that aluminum tray and it's empty. They fill up pretty fast. If you're cooking for a lot of people or cooking a lot of meals out here, you'll probably need to replace that at every meal. Locate the valve for the Blackstone and turn the propane on. Now that valve is on and you have propane for cooking. Starting up the Blackstone is very simple. We're going to open the lid. And the number one rule when starting up the flat top is to make sure you start it up and warm it up with all 4 burners, even if you don't intend to cook on all 4 burners. It's very important we're going to turn all 4 burners to the ignite position. There's a button on this side for igniting the burners, and to confirm that they've been lit, you can take a peek through these holes that are in the bottom and you can see the burners going. Just make sure all 4 are lit. Once they're all lit, turn them all down to low just to warm up your flat top. It's very important that you heat up the cooking surface evenly in the beginning. Once it's heated up, it will withhold, it'll retain the heat properly, and you can turn off burners at that stage as you wish. But when you're heating it up and starting it up, please turn on all 4 burners. If you don't do it with all 4, that will cause the flat top to warp, and that's going to damage the flat top, and then we have to replace it. Okay, so kindly warm it up every time with all 4 turned on, and then you can turn off what you need from there. This will take approximately 15 or 20 minutes to warm up properly. Underneath the Blackstone, you will find a bin that has several utensils and cooking tools are going to help you enjoy and use the Blackstone properly. And this is also where you will find extra grease liners. You can use those as you see fit. We also have located underneath the Blackstone, inside the doors, are several instructions on helping you to get the flat top warmed up in case you forget, as well as some cleaning instructions. Cleaning is very, very simple. I will walk through that in a few steps. One more feature we have is a shelf on the left-hand side that will slide out. If you can hit both of these clips at the same time. I can't do it right now while filming, but I'll pull that out and show you briefly. If you need more area to put items down, you have extra shelf space there. I would suggest, once you have the flat top warmed up, to cook first all of the items that take the longest to cook, and you can turn up the griddle as you get closer to the end of your cook and can throw on things that only need a few minutes, like steaks. Okay, my flat top is now up to temperature and I'm ready to start cooking on it. There's a couple ways you can do it. One is to squirt some oil all over it and spread it around. My preference, or the way I'm feeling today, is just to use a stick of butter. So I'm going to slap a stick of butter all over my flat top and the area I want to cook in. And I can add more butter later if I like, or I can add more oil later, whatever's easiest. Now the important thing to remember when you're done cooking is you don't want to use oil at this stage in order to clean your grill. The best thing and the highly recommended thing is just to use water. So what we're going to do is splash a little bit of water on here. You don't want to pour it on, all you want to do is splash it on. You don't want the surface to get too wet. And that should all boil off. And you can use that to scrape the surface. Scrape the surface as best you can. Try and get all the corners clean. It's very important. It's very important you be mindful of keeping this clean for either yourself or the next person to make it a nicer, more enjoyable cook. And then I will basically run a little paper towel over top the surface. Making sure to get in all the corners, especially all the edges and all the corners. You see that's still very dirty. So I'm going to continue this process over and over again until I can get a clean paper towel off the grill. Right now for the cleaning process, I still have my burners on. I still have my top heated up. Very important when you're using water on the flat top also to clean it. It's very important that you get the water off of the entire surface. Dry it really, really well with a paper towel. We don't want to leave any water on the grill because that's how it will rust. Water is the enemy of the cast iron top, so we want to make sure it's completely dry. When I'm at a stage where I'm happy with how clean the grill is, I can turn my burners off now. And the most important part is to turn the propane valve off again. The last step, now that the burners are off, just to add one coat of oil to the grill. And we're going to do the same thing we did with the spatula before. We're just going to spread that oil around, make sure we get a good even coat of oil on the grill before we close it up.